I, 20M, dated my now ex-best friend Alia, 20F, from age 13 to 17. We'd been best friends since pre-K and I adored her. I thought we'd get married as adults and have a family. But then I found out she was cheating with my brother, 19M currently. My relationship with both of them was over when I found out, and it was messy for months. Alia wanted me back. She told me she made a mistake and we were meant to be together. My brother wanted me to see it as a mistake at first, but then he wanted Alia and he told me he fell in love with her and wanted me to accept it and support them being together. Then Alia wanted my brother. So before I'd moved out they were together and dating. I avoided them like the plague, and any time they tried talking to me I told them to get the duck away from me and treated them like a disease. A couple of times my brother and I almost came to blows because he started getting angry that I wasn't willing to forgive them. He accused me of trying to break them up. One time it got really close after a fight because I hoped the two of them were miserable and ducked everything that moved until they destroyed whatever love they thought they had. He didn't like me saying it, but I meant it. When I moved out I refused to see my brother after that. My parents understood but told me they hoped in the future we could be in the same room. Some family invite the two of us to stuff and I skip it to avoid them. Other family members invite only me. It's caused some tension. I told those people in my family that if they want to invite my brother to keep the drama down I'd see them other times. But I have some really loyal family. There was some tension several months ago when my brother and Alia were in an accident. I didn't go to the hospital and I only called to see how my parents were doing. I didn't care about my brother or Alia at all. It rubbed some people the wrong way. It upset Alia really badly too, and my brother started talking shit about me to some family. And then after a while he tried to get a cousin who speaks to us both to mediate for us, and I told my cousin he didn't need to because I still wanted nothing to do with my brother. My brother and Alia are having a baby now, and apparently once they found out they were having a boy they decided to name him after me. This was used to try and bring me back into the fold. I have some family telling me I need to be in my nephew's life and I better fix things between the three of us before he's born. But I don't want a relationship with their kid, and them naming him after me changes nothing for me. It's getting me some shit from family members who say I should be over it by now and my only brother should be more important than some teenage cheating. I was told by some people on my side and others on the side of forgiveness that my brother and Alia's relationship gets more strained the longer I refuse to have anything to do with them. The family on my side tell me as a heads up for dramatic relatives. The people on the side of forgiveness tell me to shame me for potentially putting the baby through a broken family from day one. They said I wished ill on the relationship and now a baby is involved, so I shouldn't want everyone miserable and I should want a relationship with the child. They say it's disgusting I'm not willing to put the past behind us so I can be an uncle. Comment 1. NTA. You're absolutely not the a-hole here. Your boundaries aren't just valid, they're damn necessary for your sanity. You've got every right to keep your distance. Your pain doesn't have an expiration date, and protecting your peace matters more than appeasing people who hurt you intentionally. You didn't cause this mess, you're just refusing to pretend it didn't happen. Their relationship troubles are theirs to solve. Your absence isn't punishing their child, it's preserving your boundaries. Forgiveness is your choice alone, given when you're ready, if ever. Not when it's convenient for them. Comment 2. NTA, but the trash will take itself out. Y'all are still babies. Their relationship won't last, especially because both your brother and ex are deeply immature still. Give it some time. They will implode and your ex will be a single mom with little to no paternal involvement. Story 2. Refusing to travel with my brother's family because his kids only eat junk food? I, M39, am currently undergoing cancer treatment. In the end of it all, I am planning to take a holiday with a friend or family member to travel to the other side of the world. I am based in the UK and I am thinking Vietnam, South Korea, Japan or somewhere around there where I have never been. I asked my brother, M43, if he would consider coming with me. He got very excited and said his daughter, F12, and son, M8, would also come along. They are both incredibly picky eaters, and my niece only eats plain beige foods. She won't even have a burger at McDonald's, just chips and nuggets, and that's pretty much 80% of the kids' diet. I know my brother and his wife have tried hard to introduce them to other foods, but they just won't eat it. I love the two kids to bits, I really do. However, I want to travel to experience the food culture, and that is a major part of it for me. I want to get off the beaten path and experience things in life I haven't been brave enough to experience before. For me, selfishly, this trip is about the end of my cancer and celebrating that there is life after cancer. It's also not something I can easily afford. This is where I might be the asshole. I asked my brother to come travel with me, and when he said his kids would come too, I told him I would rather travel with someone else. He is disappointed and angry with me, and frustrated that I don't want to travel with his family. He feels I am being selfish, as traveling with his children can also be fulfilling. I would also like to spend time with them and do some child-friendly things during the holiday. He had already gotten my niece and nephew excited about the travel too. To make things worse, we live in different countries, so we don't see each other a lot. They will be very disappointed when they learn I have pulled the plug on the plans. I feel conflicted. So, ETA, I am currently having cancer treatment. I only just started. I have grade 3, stage 3 thyroid cancer that is spread to cervical spine. I have chemo now, started first round, and then surgery, then more chemo and then radio. The travel won't be until late 2026 at the earliest, God willing. ETA, the travel will be 2 weeks. ETA, it's not a holiday to a tourist destination, I look to go off the beaten path. Comment 1. NTA, even if these kids were willing to try everything, kids that age still need to have almost everything edited to suit their needs. This would be a holiday for them, with you tagging along. Find someone else to go with, or really brave it and go by yourself. Comment 2. NTA. Food is a huge reason to experience other cultures, and you're going to spend a lot of mealtimes at McDonald's instead of anywhere worth visiting a foreign country for. Also, a holiday with kids in tow is very different to one of just adults. He was the one who told them about it, after he unfairly expected them to be able to come without it changing anything. You're in the clear. Hope you managed to find someone else to go with. Dreaming of making such a trip myself. Comment 3. NTA, traveling with kids would make your trip everything, but what do you want it to be? Your brother should be more understanding. Trying new food is an adult experience. Not only adults react differently when they don't like something, but also certain foods are not good for kids. What could cause an adult to have diarrhea for a kid could be much worse. And kids could even be allergic to certain stuff without knowing. Story 3. Telling a friend my solo trip wasn't meant to be a group trip, after he booked flights to join me. I, 20F, have been planning a solo trip through Asia for the past 6 months. It's a 2-month-long trip. I booked my flights and accommodations months ago and built out a detailed itinerary. I always saw this as my trip, something I was doing alone, but open to overlapping with friends here or there. A friend of mine, 30M, who I met in university, mentioned months ago that he was also thinking of traveling. In person, I said that if he was free, maybe we could overlap. Later on, he asked for my itinerary and I shared it, but I didn't ask for his input or plan it with him. I'd already made most of the arrangements on my own. He recently told me, less than a week before the trip starts, that he booked flights. He'd been sick for a while, so I wasn't even sure he was still going. When I clarified that I still saw this as a solo trip, not something we'd be doing together the whole way, he got upset. He brought up an old message where I said this is as much your trip as mine, as proof I misled him. But I only said that when he was apologizing for being sick and slow to confirm, and I was trying to be nice. We never actually planned anything together or had a conversation about traveling as a pair. He just adopted my itinerary. He now says he wouldn't have booked the same route if he'd known we weren't doing it together. I feel bad he's disappointed, and I apologized for not being more explicit earlier, but I don't think I should be blamed for assumptions he never communicated. He didn't ask questions, didn't help plan, and could have just picked one country to overlap in instead of mimicking my full 2-month trip. Comment 1. NTA honey, this guy wants to duck you, now has your entire itinerary, and is unhappy with you. Consider switching things around with your trip so he doesn't know exactly where you will be and when you'll be there. You are going to encounter this again. Do not default to polite. Be 100% direct with what you mean and do not try to spare a man's feelings. I guarantee they aren't going to spare yours. Comment 2. NTA, this is creepy as heck. If you can, change your itinerary and block him. Number 30-year-old man in their right mind books a trip with a 20-year-old girl. Heck, I'm a 30-year-old girl and I would feel really weird about booking a trip with a 20-year-old girl unless she had very specifically invited me to join her. Even being friends with someone your age would feel weird to me unless it was a family member or like the little sister of my best friend. A 30-year-old man being good enough friends with a 20-year-old girl to overlap trips is a huge red flag. Please use this as a lesson in safety. Do not share your itinerary with anyone except government officials, immediate family, and very close friends. Story 4. Not firing my nanny so my ex and I can share my ex and I have 2 kids, 5 and 7. He has the kids every other Monday to Friday. Their school doesn't have a good after-school program. We let the kids go there if we're desperate, but I have a nanny and he has his mom pick up the kids most of the time. My ex has been extremely difficult with child support. We've been separated for 11 months and he hasn't given me a penny. After my ex and I separated, one of my kids' teachers recognized Jenna, saying she primarily worked with single parents and low-income families. Jenna told me her rate is $35 an hour if I want her to only work for my family. I told her I can't afford that, so she offered a second option. She works for me, but she also does backup care or finds another family to work for. When she only has my kids, I pay her $25 an hour. When she has other kids, almost every day, I pay her $15. I also do some other work for her, like basic accounting, writing up contracts for the other parents to sign, and writing waivers for her driving the kids in exchange for the lower rate when it's just us. We're the only people she works with consistently, but she has a list of people that use her when their after-school care falls through for any reason other than contagious illness. She typically has extra kids at least 3 days a week, but usually closer to 4 or sometimes 5. She has a routine. She picks up all of the kids, everyone gets a snack, she provides snack unless the kid has an allergy or special diet. They head to the library where everyone that has homework does homework and everyone else reads or plays quietly. After homework they go to museums, the community pool, splash pad, arcade, the park, events at the library, second snack, then parents start picking up or she starts dropping off the kids. My ex's mom is getting to a point where she can't watch the kids every day, but my ex doesn't want a nanny that's watching up to 5 kids at a time. Jenna isn't willing to take multiple families on my weeks and only my kids on my ex's weeks because she'd lose clients if she wasn't available half the time. My ex and I agree that it would be better for the kids if we had consistent childcare, but he isn't willing to try Jenna and I can't afford to pay more than what I'm currently paying. I've tried telling my ex that I will get another nanny if he pays for it, but if not I will stick with Jenna. Now he's saying I'm not willing to work with him for the sake of the kids and I won't consider quality childcare because I'm not willing to pay more than $15 an hour. Now I'm wondering if I am wrong for not getting a new nanny. Comment 1. NTA, assuming your custody/child support agreement requires that he arrange for his own childcare of days where he is responsible for the kids. Your childcare situation is great. There's nothing wrong with it. It sounds like you are getting an excellent service for a very reasonable price. Comment 2. NTA and girl, contact court and get that child support. The nerve of him to ask you to pay hundreds more in child care for his convenience when he isn't even paying the child support. Comment 3. This is a power play. Don't fall for it. Your kids are in school with probably 20 other kids to one teacher all day with no issue. But suddenly after school, they need the sitter all to themselves and are being harmed by having a few other kids join them at the library? That's crap. They probably like having extra playmates. I don't know what the X's endgame is here, but I highly doubt it is related to genuine concern over the caregiver-to-child ratio. Extra, not picking my sister up from the airport because she called my car embarrassing? So my sister flew in yesterday and asked if I could pick her up. I said sure, no problem. I drive a super old Honda Civic, it runs fine but yeah it's got dents, the AC squeals a little, whatever. 10 minutes before her flight lands she texts me, can you park far? I don't want people thinking I'm getting in that embarrassing car. I stared at it for a sec and then just didn't go. Turned off my phone and went home. She called our mom from the terminal crying because I stranded her in another city like she didn't just roast the only free ride she had. She ended up getting an Uber for like $75 and now she's texting me paragraphs about how I'm spiteful and childish. I don't even feel bad.